raising into a higher level of consciousness. So all of us as a collective are going, you know what? War is so old. It's the old thing for us to awaken and move on to a better level. And it hasn't worked for us in the past. There is like an accumulative total of the masses not understanding who they are. So they have to push against something or someone. And I know that sounds vague, but we can just break it down a bit. So Putin's taking that advantage of going, hey, you know what? We're losing, say, our sense of self. So what we're doing is like, we want to reclaim it and show us that we're the power play here. So once we understand that, we need to understand ourselves as an individual, as a family, as a group, as a company, as a culture, as a human race within ourselves, not against other people. Again, it's an internal value. War can be eliminated. As a whole, as a human, say, race, for most of us, we've gone, say, instead of fighting for peace, we're going, no, wait, we have to solve the peace. We have to have inner peace. Hence, it'll expand us. But the key is COVID, sequestered us. It helped a lot of people understand what's really, really important, right? Do you sacrifice yourself, or do you actually understand why you're here as human? That's the key. So as we become more and more transparent, those people who refuse to let go of their identity, like say Putin, like he starts, and this is what I was saying, he starts to feel more and more inadequate. He's starting to see that the power that he has isn't doing it for him. So he has to control more. And what best way, if you're in that position, it's like, fine, I'll invade a country, and then you gain power. It's no different than, Jeff Bezos. He was a super cool guy and everything. And then what happens? He gains a lot of power and a lot of money, but then it literally shows him. So the more power you have, the less you see yourself worthy, because wealth is a magnifier. Okay. If you do it wrong, that's the key. You're doing it wrong. Most people do it wrong. These leaders are doing it wrong. That's why I say that the world is becoming more and more transparent. Everybody is starting to see how much their value really is. I'm weak. So in order for me to show my strength, I'm going to put more controls on our people, or I'm going to go start a war. It's the same thing, literally. Putin is just more aggressive, literally. And then what we do is like that shows more power for us, because we're always lashing out. We're always trying to change our outward environment to change, say, our own stability. Whether you're an individual, a group, a religion, or a country, right? Trying to control, you're always trying to control or create stability within your own. So go inwards and understand the weaknesses. Look at the weaknesses that you've inherited from your parents. A lot of the issues that you have are not even yours. A lot of issues that the country has are not of the current people. They're from the past, right? So what we do again is look at what's happening, look at our own weaknesses at an individual level. And if we can do that and clarify ourselves and clean ourselves up and get rid of, say, past patterns or hereditary patterns, even the way we age, that's just like war. It's like, oh, we've used war as a tool in the past. The way we age and the way we get sick, that's the same tool that we're using. We don't have to do that anymore. There's a plethora of possibilities, again, of us, say, shifting into a more peaceful understanding of who we are and where we are. So look inside, strengthen your own self. You'll be a lot stronger version of yourself. And then you're more peaceful. You're not as judgmental. Judgment actually comes from insecurities of your internal self. Once you understand yourself, or once you're connected deeper within yourself, again, you're more lovable, you're more loving, you're more peaceful, you're non-judgmental. So if you did that singular, and then as a family, and then as a group, as a religion, as a culture, and then in human race, if we look at ourselves in that respect, we wouldn't have to have war to control. We wouldn't have anything like that to control. We can always ascend higher without war. The other aspect of it is to raise consciousness. Because no matter what we do at this level of consciousness, and I've spoken about this before, is that this consciousness dictates that there has to be control, there has to be lack, and there has to be sacrifice for you to do anything. in this reality. If you don't believe me, look at, how you help people. One or the other has to sacrifice or control. Look at, say, making love or feeling love towards somebody. You're sacrificing or they're being sacrificed for you to experience love. That's the consciousness for you to control. Or, like the US goes, where we're going to invade this country, to have peace. How does that work? It doesn't work, because you're creating, a lot of chaos to create peace. Again, that's because of the consciousness. We switch over, and it literally is a switch. We switch over into a higher level consciousness where those three ingredients don't exist anymore, and a whole different set of possibilities arise. How do we raise into that higher consciousness? By eliminating the weaknesses and the distortions that we've inherited from the past, and learning from the past. The war of today is literally the same war. They're using the same tactics as what happened 75 years ago, in World War II. It's the exact same tactics. The difference in this war, which is really important, is that there's an underlying propaganda coming up all over the world, whether it's, Russia, whether it's the US or any other country involved, NATO countries. All their garbage is coming out forward. So in the near future, you're going to see, say, a lot of dark sides of countries that wherever you are, you're going to see, say, the darkness that's spewing out. So rejoice on that. Before there was a propensity to hide that or have the ability to hide it. They can't hide it anymore. So that's the government side. On the people side, the people aren't communicating. They're not connecting. They're not for Putin. Most, almost all, nobody is going, most people are going, they're not, they're for the Ukraine and peaceful and all that. But if you look at it, most people are going, you know what, the war is unnecessary. It's something back in the day that we used to do, but we just don't do that anymore. We've grown up. That's what most people's consciousness is about. We just don't want to play with that toy anymore. It doesn't matter if you're Russian or Ukrainian, that's human. That's suffering. That's the key. It's a human that's suffering. That's the big difference in this war, by the way. We're elevating ourselves not by race, color, creed, whatever country. We're going, no, wait a second, guys. That's human. We're the same species. We shouldn't be doing that to ourselves. We've always known that. And there's so many other people that profess that. There's sages that have said that. Even Michael Jackson says, hey, the man in the mirror. So we always know that. But, how do we do that? We haven't figured out a tool or how do we do that? We know that Xponential Intelligence is the way to really go inwards and go, yep, that's not the version that I want to run. I want to go to a higher version of myself, which is in another, say, consciousness. Whether you like it or not, you're cleaning up in this reality that's happening today. Right now, you're cleaning up as an individual or as a country. When you're cleaning up, you can either latch onto your old self and control and go, no, I don't want to change. And this is where war happens. Or you can go with the flow and go, gosh, I really need to let go of this bullshit that I'm running. Again, as an individual, as a group, as a country, say, just let it go. Let's improve ourselves. And then move on. So you can kick and fight and scream going the other way and use tactics of the past, or you can go, yep, that's my old stuff. I'm leaving it behind and I want to run a different version or a different simulation of myself. We can do that as a group status as well. And that's what we're doing. So unfortunately, it's a sad time, but it's the most exciting time because, confrontation or, what we're going through is an opportunity for us to let go at an instant level. I want to call it. It's an instant because tragedy awakens us to the point of death where we can just literally reset ourselves, just like turning off a computer, resetting it. It literally can catapult us to that next level. So don't focus in on the tragedies, focus in on the opportunities. And that's the best way to help the Ukrainian people and then the Russian people as well, elevate us to a higher level.